Guys, I wish you could smell this candle. My friend got it for me for my birthday. Love you, Marcella. It's like a latte, like it straight up smells so good. Like I wish y'all could smell this. Oh my god, it smells beautiful. But I'm gonna put it back there. We're gonna be doing things over here. But you and me, we're gonna catch up. I feel like you've missed a lot. I moved, first off. Great life choice. And I'm just living with my parents, vibing. It's actually wonderful. And I've tried to come back so many times, but the last time I came down, like I came back on a video, I just wasn't ready for it. I've been going through a lot mentally, so this year was just really hard for me. So I don't want to be fake with y'all on the camera, acting like life is all sweet and fun when I'm not well inside, because I feel like that's not really transparent. Then it's like hard because I don't want to pass on bad vibes. Like I'm here all about a good vibe. I don't want to be passing y'all bad vibes. So the vibe is back, and it's gonna be here a while. Like I have done a lot of work to make sure that even on my bad days, like I am still well. Anyway, I recently turned 23, if y'all didn't know, last week. And you know what? It was one of those birthdays where I was like, oh god, like we're just gonna keep aging. And we're just gonna keep getting older and older, and like this isn't fun anymore, guys. Like I'm had it. Like, can I just stay 22? Like I did not want to turn 23. But that's part of life. We're getting older on this planet. And you know what? Truthfully, as I look back at this year, like I just feel like I've grown so much. I don't even recognize the girl I was last year. I really don't. And that's when I started this channel, like fresh out of college. As I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I've always known that I love making videos and editing them. So that just came so natural to me. But I've life has just gotten so crazy, and I've been so busy that I just haven't been able to pull out the camera and vlog and then edit it. I just can't, because life is too crazy. I didn't have time to edit, and then it just progresses and I'm like, why would I edit a video from like 5 minutes ago? We are back, and today I thought it would be fun, since I turned 23, we are going to do the Effortless Summer Glow makeup routine. It's a very light makeup routine, and it will leave you looking like a glowing goddess this summer, okay? And I'm going to give you 22 things I learned in my year of being 22. First thing I learned this year is that it's not that deep, y'all. It's really not. You know, I've always thought I'm like searching for like this deep meaning and like thinking what everyone else is thinking, what's on their mind, trying to read people's minds, and just y'all, it's not that deep. Like things happen and y'all just gotta let it go. You gotta take it with a grain of salt and move on. You only need literally that much. And we're going to apply this onto our skin. This is the first part of our makeup routine. The second thing I learned, a little thing I like to call self-respect. It's crazy that it took me 22 years to really practice self-respect. I think it's a thing that went below the radar for a little too long, and now when people don't treat me well, I speak up. We know how we should be treated, and we're not gonna stoop down to anything less, okay? Period. All right, now that you have your base, I like to go in with the Supergoop Glow Sunscreen. The third thing I learned is to show up for yourself. Because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna do it but you, honey. Like, I hate to break it to you. If you're waiting for superhero like I was, they're not coming, because we can be our own superhero. And truthfully, no one's gonna show up for you the way that you would show up for yourself. No one knows how to show up for you adequately. You know yourself better than anyone else. And one thing that helped me with this, my therapist was like, so if you saw like a child or like your younger self like crying, would you be mean to them, or would your first thing be like, grow up? Like, no. You wouldn't. So why are you saying those things to yourself? Why are you being awful to yourself? If you saw someone like that, you'd probably do anything in your power to cheer them up. So why aren't you doing that for yourself? So the next thing you're gonna wanna go in with is some kind of very light concealer. And I like this just because it brightens up my eyes a little bit. And I like to use the Milk Makeup Concealer. It's super light. And the fourth thing, actually my grandpa is the one who told me this. This is a quote for him. He said, "The worst thing you can do is play the victim." Okay, so to give you preference on this, I was called out by a certain individual, and I just didn't feel like myself, and they were like, "You're so disorganized, like I don't know what you're doing," and I don't know, it really hurt me. And I'm like, I'm not disorganized, like I got this going, like I've never been called that. That is not me. I've got the wrong person. But I think the worst thing I could have done in that situation was just deny it and not see it for what it was. Because the worst part of it, the whole thing, was that it was a little bit true. And I think that's what hurt. But I think sometimes we need to hear that and not play the victim card all the time, because if I did play the victim card, I would have been like, oh, that's not true, full of crap, like that's not me, like you got the wrong babe. But at the end of the day, I did like self-evaluate a little bit, took a minute, shed a tear, and then was like, wait a second, like you're kind of right. And I did change things around so that I was more organized. But if I would have played the victim, you know, I wouldn't have solved that way, and I wouldn't have grown from that. And the fifth thing I learned this year, as I go for my blush, I like the Rare Beauty Coral. This is probably the most natural one I have. The fifth thing I learned is that I am stronger and wiser than I think. This year I wasn't trusting myself. It's okay, y'all, to trust yourself, because at the end of the day, you probably know what's best. And I feel like before this year, at age 22, I saw myself as this young, feeble, stupid little girl. And that was really detrimental for me to see myself in that way, because then I actually believed that. Like if I was like a box, there'd be like a fragile symbol on it. Like there's glass or something very delicate. But as soon as I stopped putting that label on myself, I accepted that I can do hard things. I'm a lot smarter than I think, and wiser, and I can trust myself. And that has really changed my game. The sixth thing I learned this year is to stop looking for the right person and instead become the right person. So my whole life I'm looking for this perfect man to walk in my life, little superhero man, if you will. And you know what? I'm like, why isn't this person coming? Like I was starting to get a little pissed. Like I'm like, where is this man? Where is this friend? Like where are these good people? Like I seem to can't find them. And then someone told me that instead of searching for this person, and I wrote down all the qualities I want in this person, I looked inward and was like, well, why don't I just become that person? Yeah, so think of all the qualities that you would want in your partner or a friend, and just become that person to yourself. And eventually, I haven't got here yet, but eventually you will attract that type of person and that type of energy. The seventh thing I learned is to stop assuming and start communicating. This is a big one, and I'm also going to go into with another blush. It's the Glowgasm Charlotte Tilbury wand, and I swear that mine is stuck in here, the application. It's not coming out strong, so bear with me. But stop assuming and start communicating has really changed my life, because I always assumed that this is the way this person felt, when you could really just ask them. And if you're anything like me, you assume the worst. So it's actually just great to just ask and talk to people about stuff, because when you assume, you could potentially be assuming the wrong thing about people, and that's never good. Okay, my eighth thing that I learned this year, to stop letting my empathy control me. I literally had this conversation with this guy. he was like, why would you do this? And why would you be friends with them? And why'd you do that? And honestly, all of like my answers to those crazy questions were, oh, I felt bad. It started coming up a little too often, and it made me really think. I was like, wow, like my empathy for people really like dictates my actions. Once I like saw that and I was aware of it, I learned that I don't have to do that. I don't have to let my empathy control me and make my decisions for me. I can feel bad for people, but remove myself from their situation, okay? Like, their problems aren't my problems, and I don't have to solve them. So now that we're done with blush, I'm gonna go in with some bronzer, and I like to use just like the Charlotte Tilbury powder here. This is my favorite. I got this 2 years ago for my birthday. Best bronzer ever. So the 9th thing I learned is to pay attention to people's vibe when you're with them. This year, I've taken time to reflect on the type of vibe that people are giving off when I'm around them, and also how I feel after I'm with them. And if people just like drain you, they gotta go, sweetie. We cannot keep people like that in our life. Energy drainers, like, we don't have to be with them just because we feel bad for them. And there are people in this life that will actually make you feel a lot better when you're around them. And the crazy thing is that sometimes you have to cut off these energy drainers so that better people and better vibes can come in your life. And maybe you can't see that now, but I promise you, letting go of what's bad will leave some room for better things to come. 10th thing I learned is don't change my values just to appease someone else. And I don't think I have to go really in depth about that. Period. 11th thing I learned is to stop living in the past future. We are here in the present. Didn't know if y'all knew that, but it took me a little bit to really come full circle with that. I'm always like, oh my god, what am I gonna do in a year, in 10 years, oh my god. And it's great to have goals and aspirations and things, but like, you don't have to worry, okay? Like, we don't have to worry about that. It hasn't happened yet. And actually, there's beautiful things happening right here, right now, that we can enjoy and love if we're just present in the moment. Okay, 12th, this one's pretty obvious to everyone. Money. You knew it was coming. The finances were coming. That advice was coming. Money, guys, does not equate happiness. And your girl learned this with her biggest paycheck, and she still wasn't happy. Yeah, hate to break it to ya. It doesn't fix all the problems like I thought it would. It makes life easier, I'll tell you that, but it does not bring in happiness like I thought it would. 13 is a crazy one. And before I go into it, I'm going to go in with my highlighter. I have the Merit Stick Glow Stick. Looks like this. Oh my god, this is a game changer. But the 13th thing I learned this year is that vulnerability is not a weakness. It's actually a strength. So I think this like inhibited me in a lot of relationships because I was scared to like open up with people because it scares me. It scares the living crap out of me. Because I'm like, oh my god, like what if they use that information against me? What if they go and tell everybody? And it's just like ick. Like I'm like, ew, I don't want to. But actually, guys, it's a beautiful thing. A lot of it too, I think, was like my abandonment issues. Like, oh my god, if I actually open up to someone, they're gonna want to leave. Like they won't. But here's the thing. You shouldn't gatekeep yourself, like who you really are, because if they want to leave after you tell them all your vulnerable stuff, then that's what is meant to be. Like they weren't meant to be there and to begin with, period. And vulnerability actually allows like connection. And connection, y'all, is a beautiful thing. So do not be scared to be vulnerable. I know it's a scary thing, but it's also beautiful. 14, what is meant for you will always find its way back. So you don't have to be scared about people like leaving you or like leaving your life. You can just be like, if they're meant to come back, they will. And I've actually had some relationships like rekindle through it. Now when people like go, I don't have to be like, oh my god. You can literally, if it is meant to be, it'll be. It's given me a lot of peace. Okay, 15, little body image situation. Losing that extra 5 pounds isn't worth your peace, y'all. It's not. I used to go above and beyond just to lose an extra 5 pounds or look just a little thinner. And you know what? It just caused me mad problems. Like, it's not worth your peace. I'm actually a lot happier eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's great. I think the sooner you learn this, the better, because I feel like I can just go down a rabbit hole with the body image thing, and it's okay to just be at peace where you're at and enjoy food. 17th thing I learned is that there is no such thing as a bad emotion. Growing up, I thought frustration and like anger was like a bad emotion. It's really actually great to not suppress your feelings and actually feel them. And if you're angry, girl, like, let it out. It's actually really healthy to let it out.
That's anger. He cares very deeply. Get off of me!
Yeah, anger is a beautiful thing. And so you don't have to act like any emotion is like bad. They're all real and they're all valid. So just feel them as they are. The 18th thing I learned is that you are enough as you are. And that has taken me so long to accept. I felt like I needed other people to be happy and things to be happy, but at the end of the day, all I need is myself, and that's enough. So I've given quite a bit of advice. I'm gonna go in with the Dior. Actually, before I go in with any lip gloss, I'm gonna go in for the lips with Aquaphor. Crazy. Little drugstore moment. I would go to 23 things I've learned, but honestly, I think 18 is good enough, and I don't want to keep y'all here forever. If you want to hear more, just let me know, guys. The last thing I'm going in with is this lip mask, and this actually like exfoliates your lips, and it's an absolute game changer. And if you want your lips to look extra juicy this summer, I like to use the Dior lip oil. And I hate it when lip gloss is like super sticky. Like, I'm very particular about my lip gloss, and this goes on so slick. Doesn't feel sticky or heavy. Alright, and that is the makeup look today for being a glowing goddess this summer. I want you all to have a wonderful, beautiful summer and glow all throughout, not only physically, but mentally as well, because we all deserve to be glowing. I missed you guys so much. So glad that we were able to catch up together. I can't wait to make more videos this summer. I'm going on a trip to Naples with my family, which will be fun. And I might purchase a drone, so stay tuned for that. And I love creating videos and connecting with you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.